Charles Auguste Émile Durand, known as Carolus Duran, was a prominent French painter whose mastery of portraiture established him as one of the most distinguished artists of his era. His contributions to art were not only through his own remarkable works, but also through his influence as a teacher, nurturing some of the most significant artists of the late 19th and early 20th centuries. Carolus Duran was born on July 4, 1837, in Lille, a vibrant city in northern France. His early exposure to art came through the École des Beaux-Arts in Lille, where he studied under the guidance of the sculptor Augustin Phidias Cadet de Beaupré. The young Durand showed a keen aptitude for drawing and painting, displaying a precocious talent that set him on the path to becoming an artist. In 1853, at the age of 16, Durand moved to Paris, the epicenter of the art world, to further his studies. He enrolled at the prestigious Académie Suisse, where he immersed himself in the works of the old masters at the Louvre. These formative years were crucial, as he absorbed the techniques and styles of artists such as Titian, Velázquez, and Rubens, who would profoundly influence his own artistic development. Durand's first significant break came in 1861, when he exhibited The Assassination at the Salon, the official art exhibition of the Académie des Beaux-Arts in Paris. The painting garnered critical attention, showcasing his ability to handle dramatic subjects with skill and sensitivity. However, it was his later focus on portraiture that would define his career. In 1866, Durand traveled to Italy and Spain, where he studied the works of the Venetian Renaissance and the Spanish Baroque. This period was pivotal, as he developed a fascination with the techniques of Titian and Velázquez. Velázquez's influence, in particular, was evident in Durand's loose brushwork, vibrant colors, and the psychological depth he brought to his portraits. Upon returning to Paris, Carolus Duran's reputation as a portraitist began to flourish. His ability to capture the essence and character of his sitters, combined with a refined technique, made him a sought-after artist among the French elite. One of his most famous works from this period is Lady with the Glove, 1869, a portrait of his wife, Pauline Croizette. The painting was celebrated for its lifelike representation and the elegant yet natural pose of the sitter. It established him as a leading portrait painter and earned him a place at the prestigious Salon. Durand's technique was revolutionary for its time. He employed a direct painting method, often working alla prima, meaning he painted directly onto the canvas without the preliminary underdrawing that was customary. This approach allowed him to capture the immediacy and vitality of his subjects, setting his work apart from his contemporaries. In 1873, Carolus Duran opened his own studio in Paris, where he began teaching a new generation of artists. His atelier quickly became one of the most important in the city, attracting students from around the world. Durand's teaching emphasized the importance of studying the old masters and mastering the fundamentals of drawing and composition. However, he also encouraged his students to develop their own styles and to paint with freedom and expressiveness. Among his most famous students was John Singer Sargent, who would go on to become one of the preeminent portrait painters of his time. Sargent's early works clearly show the influence of his mentor, particularly in the handling of light and the fluidity of his brushstrokes. Other notable students included Jean-Jacques Henner, Theodore Robinson, and Kenyon Cox. By the 1880s, Carolus Duran had achieved significant success and recognition. He was awarded the Legion of Honor in 1872 and became a member of the Académie des Beaux-Arts in 1889. His portraits continued to be in high demand, and he received commissions from some of the most prominent figures of his time, including members of the European aristocracy and bourgeoisie. Despite his success, Durand remained dedicated to his craft and continued to innovate. He experimented with different genres, including historical and religious subjects, though portraiture remained his primary focus. His later works, such as the portraits of the opera singer Jean-Baptiste Faure and the painter Henri Gervais, demonstrate a continued refinement of his technique and a deepening of psychological insight. Carolus Duran's impact on the art world extended beyond his own paintings. As a teacher, he shaped the careers of numerous artists who carried his techniques and philosophies into the 20th century. His emphasis on direct observation and expressive brushwork helped pave the way for the Impressionists and other modernist movements. Carolus Duran's personal life was marked by his marriage to Pauline Crozet, an accomplished painter and miniaturist in her own right. The couple had 3 children, and their home became a cultural salon, frequented by artists, writers, and intellectuals of the day. Pauline often served as a muse and model for her husband, their partnership reflecting a mutual respect and admiration for each other's talents. In his later years, Carolus Duran continued to receive accolades for his contributions to art. He was made a Commander of the Legion of Honor in 1900, further cementing his legacy as a leading figure in the French art world. Despite his advancing age, he remained active as a painter and teacher until his death. Carolus Duran passed away on February 17, 1917, in Paris. His death marked the end of an era, but his legacy lived on through his works and the many artists he had mentored. His approach to portraiture, characterized by its psychological depth, technical mastery, and vibrant execution, continues to be celebrated and studied by art historians and enthusiasts alike. Carolus Duran's style evolved over the years, but certain characteristics remained constant throughout his career. His portraits are known for their vivid realism, achieved through a keen observation of his subjects and an expert manipulation of light and shadow. He had a particular talent for capturing the textures of different materials, such as the sheen of satin, the softness of fur, and the delicate translucence of skin. His use of color was bold and confident, often employing a rich palette to convey the vitality and presence of his sitters. He frequently used a dark background to make the figure stand out, a technique reminiscent of Velázquez. This approach not only highlighted the subject, but also created a sense of intimacy and focus. Duran's brushwork was another defining feature of his art. He often used broad, fluid strokes to model forms, creating a sense of movement and life. This technique allowed him to capture the essence of his subjects with an economy of means, avoiding overworking the details while still achieving a high degree of realism. Carolus Duran's legacy as a master portraitist and influential teacher remains firmly established in the history of art. His innovative techniques, particularly his approach to direct painting and expressive brushwork, left an indelible mark on the art world. Through his portraits, he captured the essence of a diverse array of individuals, from the bourgeoisie of Paris to the intellectual elite, leaving behind a rich legacy of works that continue to inspire and captivate. As a teacher, his impact was equally profound. The artists who trained under him carried forward his principles, contributing to the development of modern art. Carolus Duran's ability to combine technical excellence with a deep understanding of human nature ensures his place as one of the great portrait painters of his time.